Hey everyone, welcome to GTS Distributions Come and Play Day here in Seattle. My name's Rodney Smith and I've been joined by Jason Brenner. Nice to see you again.
Thanks,
here from
buddy.
Upper Deck, and you've brought more legendary goodness with you.
Yeah.
You filled my table, Jason.
It was an accident. Again, we brought more. We have the new game Villains that just came out.
That's right. And this is something that we've had on Watch It Played, and we've seen you at different times talking about. Upper Deck is clearly behind this game, supporting it and putting out more and more stuff for us to play with. But this time, you flipped everything on its ear, it looks like.
Yeah.
Why do we have Villains highlighted here? What's going on?
We can unequivocally 100% blame Star Trek.
Okay.
And I say that because one night I was watching a cool mirror episode of Enterprise and got this rad idea to do that for Legendary.
Okay.
Let's make it so he plays the bad guys versus the good guys. Next day came into work, tossed the idea around, everybody dug it, so here we are. Now we have Villains.
So how does that change the cards that we have here? I know there's a lot, and it's a lot to sort of take in here.
Yeah.
We'll give some close-up shots a little bit later, but what's the breakdown now? What changes here?
Well, the changes are, the first and foremost is we are the bad guys now. Mm-hmm. We're the bad guys versus the good guys. It's not necessarily a mix and match in the box. Mm-hmm. It's designed out of the box to play as Magneto, as Kingpin, as Mystique, against Spider-Man, Wolverine, those guys, Cyclops. So clearly out of the gate, it's much more of a dark feel to it than any of the hero sets have.
Right.
However, there's a lot of similarities. I don't want to freak people out to think it's a brand new game and they don't know what they're doing.
Right, you got to relearn everything.
No. The only thing you got to relearn is there's some new keywords, which is great because we do keywords in every set.
Sure, yeah.
So there's always going to be that, but there's some terminology changes that have to be addressed. And the good thing is, in our rule book, we give you a nice handy chart of every terminology change where it leads to the hero side. So I'll give you an example. On the board, we have adversaries and allies, where once we had villains and heroes. Well, I felt funny calling it villains and heroes because it just, villains aren't Spider-Man, he's not a villain, right?
Right.
I guess it depends on your point of view.
Yeah,
if you're Kingpin, maybe Spider-Man's a villain. If you're, whatever.
It's a big nuisance, that's for sure.
Really? Yeah. Seriously, that guy?
Yes, it's webs.
So we had to call them adversaries and allies, but in the rule book we say adversary equals villain. So anytime you see that, that goes in the villain stack or adversary stack. Okay. Allies goes in the hero stack, vice versa. So we try to make it as easy as possible, and honestly, if I can figure it out, we're all good.
All right, well listen, that's something I want to ask about. This is a separate box. Is it standalone? Do I need to have the original Legendary game to play this?
You do not have to. You do not have to. This is, in fact, a standalone, but let me tell you why you'd want to.
Okay, sure, yeah.
So, to answer your question, this is a standalone game. It comes with starting hands. It comes with bindings, which are the new wounds.
Okay.
It has bystanders. It has master strikes, plot twist. So, I'm sorry, command strikes, excuse me.
Yes.
So it has everything you need to play out of the box. However, the reason you want to make sure you have all of it is this is fully compatible with every other Marvel Legendary set we've done. Okay,
so I can take these, mix them up with everything else I already have?
Everything else.
Okay.
So now the fantasy of can Magneto work with the X-Men? Oh yeah, oh absolutely.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, can we have a Jason Brenner Age of Apocalypse fiesta at my house? Yes, we can, and yes, we will. So yeah, you're all invited. As anybody knows who's played Legendary, we're very focused on theme. We want to make sure our themes are correct. First of all, we have some new characters who are our commanders this time around. We have Professor X, Doctor Strange, Odin. I mean, that's pretty awesome. And we have Nick Fury. Well, to call those guys masterminds seemed a little evil.
Right.
And again, perspective, point of view, that's fine, but we have to tread the line of they're still heroes.
Sure.
So we call them commanders.
All right.
So instead of masterminds or commanders, and instead of schemes, because scheming is just filthy dirty.
It does seem a little underhanded.
It is. We do plots, right? Okay. And then we have plot twist. Anybody ever hear of a plot twist in an Upper Deck game before?
Sure.
Right. And then we also, in addition to some of the terminology, we have a very brand new card stack that we've added to the Legendary family.
What's this over here? I see on the mat we've got New Recruits.
New Recruits. It's a brand new card stack. It's not replacing anything from the other game, the hero game. It's brand new for this one. And basically what it is, it's a forever pile that literally can be a forever pile because when you recruit a card, it goes to your discard. When you play it, it goes back to this pile.
Okay.
And then you get an attack point for it, plus you get to draw a card. So there's a lot of function in the new recruit pile, and it's just one of those just awesome, like we were testing it, it just felt so fun to play.
Okay.
We're like, oh, this has to be in
So this
there.
is something else that you can purchase along with the other items that come out here in the lair.
It's 2 recruit points. Anytime you have 2, you go there, and then it doesn't clog up your deck because it always goes back into that pile.
Right, interesting point. Yeah, well, speaking of clogging up the deck.
Yeah.
So we had wounds.
Yes, we did.
In the old game. We have something called bindings now.
Yeah.
Does this work exactly the same way? Have we got something different here?
We do have something different. Now, they do work in the same way in the fact that they're meant to clog your deck.
Yes.
Because every game's got to have a clogger or else they're too easy. Right. So bindings do clog your deck because they go to your discard pile, then you draw them, they go into your hand. However, when you rest, here's the big thing. Keep in mind, we're playing as the bad guys.
Sure, yeah.
All right, this game's all about more PvP.
Okay.
There's way more PvP. Don't play with your parents. Don't play with your really good friends.
Right.
Play with, don't play with your wives. Like, if you're going to fight about it, don't play with them because this is a PvP game.
Sure.
So basically, bindings, the way it works is instead of in the hero game when you rest, you just put them in your KO play, put them in, they're gone, right? And then you just skip your turn. This one, let's just say I have 3 bindings in my hand. I would KO 1, and then I would pass everything else in my hand to the player on my right.
This is going to their hand?
It goes right in their discard pile. Oh, no. But it's just dirty, filthy pool that we're doing here.
Well, listen, we've got all these cards laid out here.
Yes.
That's fantastic. They're sitting on top of a different looking board that I'm used to.
That's correct.
Right? This is actually a playmat, isn't it?
It is, and it's a board only in fashion. It is actually a playmat in function.
Okay.
We made a decision to go with a playmat. I've been making playmats for almost a decade at Upper Deck, and I love them. Everybody in this industry loves them. We all love them, and wanted to go back to the playmat substrate because it's just more durable, easier to throw in your bag. And again, we listen to people all the time when they say, storage is an issue. The board is great, but it's hard to fit in my backpack.
Okay.
So went to a playmat. It's a logical step. And the beauty is, in doing so, we're able to change the box from the core set to a new villains style box. And this rolls up nicely in the middle of it, and then we just have 2 sleeves on the side for storage, and you can put about 1,000 cards in that box.
Right. When you have the box here, it sort of sits in a slot right about here, right? Rolled up.
Absolutely.
It just fits in.
Fits right in the middle, and then on the sides, you could just do card storage.
Cards right here.
And we are
Very
providing more dividers for people. So, I know that's also an issue. Yes. You're going to get dividers.
More dividers are coming.
Yes, they are coming. They're in this box, and there you go.
Well, it's a good sign when something is demand. I mean, if that means people want them for the games that they're playing. That's
a good problem to have.
Now, I mentioned earlier, it's great to see that Upper Deck is supporting the game.
Yeah.
What else have you got planned for the series? You got some events coming up or anything? Or
Yes, very glad you asked. We do, in fact, we do support this game wholeheartedly. This game, Legendary as a brand, is our flagship. And it's only our flagship because our fans are just rabid for it, and we appreciate and love that, so we want to give a little back. And what we're doing is, at the major events throughout the year, the next big one being Gen Con, is we'll be doing a $10,000 championship at the show. So that's going to be amazing. We're going to be using villains as the game of choice. Okay. So, you got to prepare, got to practice. It will be on Friday at Gen Con, $10,000. It's going to be a fun event.
10,000 is no joke.
It's no joke, man.
That's a big bank.
It's a lot of cake.
Hey, you come back to your family, your spouse, or whatever. I went to a convention, came back with 10 grand. Not too bad.
I paid $10, came back with like 7,500 because I won. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, and what about other product? Get some more expansions in the works, anything like that?
We do. We have another expansion for Legendary coming out in October, which is, we're still sticking to the 3 expansions per year. And what we'll likely do is, vary back and forth between a hero expansion and a villain expansion, and that's just going to extend the life of the entire Legendary brand. And because you can combine them together, I mean, there's something for everybody there.
Right.
So I'm happy to do that. The next one comes out in October. That will be a hero expansion. And then February, June, and October again. But in the interim, we also have the Legendary Encounters Alien deck building game coming out at Gen Con. So that'll be the first time anybody's ever really gotten their hands on it because we haven't demoed it and we haven't done anything with it yet, and we're dialing it in and it's all ready to go for Gen Con. Okay. So there's that. Firefly Dice, who our good friend is designing.
Yeah, Scott Morris. That's right.
Morris.
Talks from Crits Happen.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah, good friend. Designing our game, very talented guy, and the game is really fun. Dice game, it's quick, it's easy, it's press your luck style. It's Firefly, so who doesn't like Firefly?
Awesome. When are we seeing that?
November.
November.
It'd be
Okay.
November of this year. And then next year, we roll right into The Crow and probably some Predator goodies for everybody.
Jason, do you ever sleep?
No.
No, I'm not getting the impression you do.
No, not so much, buddy.
Well, listen, I appreciate you taking the time out of your very busy schedule to come here and show us this. I hope that you guys will stick around. At the end of this video, I'm just going to do a quick slideshow, give you guys a little bit of a teaser of some of the different new cards, right, that are coming in this set.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll stick around and watch that. But as always, thanks for watching.